At 11 years old, my mother looked me in the eyes and told me to leave. No tears, no anger, no explanation. The day my mother threw me out, I thought it was the end of my childhood. I didn't know it was the beginning of a secret worth millions, and a danger that would follow me for 21 years. My name is Adeline, and today I am 32 years old. People often say that time heals every wound, that childhood memories fade like the color of an old photograph left in the sun. But I believe something different. For me, memories were never soft shadows that disappear with the morning light. They were like tiny shards of glass buried beneath my skin, hidden somewhere between my veins. You couldn't see them, but the moment you touched them, the pain was just as deep as it had been the first time. A sharp, piercing pain that never grew old, only sharper with time. I am an architect. I build structures. People think I construct buildings with pillars and beams, but the truth is I spent my entire life building walls around myself so no one could come in. Because the last time I let someone in, they were the ones who pushed me out. I still remember that afternoon when my life changed forever. I was only 11 years old. Sunlight was pouring in through the kitchen window, dust particles floating in the light, slipping through the curtains and falling onto the floor. There was a faint smell of burnt toast in the air, a smell that still makes me nauseous. And the ticking of the wall clock. It was so loud it felt like time itself was screaming, warning me. My mother was standing near the sink. She didn't yell at me. She didn't show anger or argue. There was a calmness in her eyes, the terrifying calm that comes before a storm. "You have to leave, Adeline," she said. Her voice was cold, distant, as if I were not her daughter but a stranger she was giving directions to. There was no moisture in her eyes, no hesitation, only finality, as if she had made this decision long ago and today was simply the day of execution. That was what haunted me for years. If she had been angry, maybe I could have understood. Anger means you care. Anger is a form of passion. But indifference? That kills the soul. There was such distance in her eyes, as if she had already erased me from her heart and her life. "This is better for everyone," she had said. What could that sentence possibly mean to an 11-year-old child? I stood there holding my backpack, trying not to cry. Inside were a few clothes, my favorite teddy bear, and a sketchbook. There had been no big fight. I hadn't made a terrible mistake. In the morning I was her daughter. By evening, I was standing outside my own house. The door closed. Click. It sounded like the last page of a book turning, a book I was never allowed to read. I stood there staring at the door, hoping it was some kind of joke. Maybe she would open it and say, "Come inside, dinner is getting cold." But the door never opened. The neighbor's cat came near my feet, meowed, and walked away. The sun set. The cold grew stronger. The door stayed shut. I spent the next 21 years of my life with one question. Why? As children, we try to find logic in everything, even cruelty. I thought there must be some reason I couldn't remember. I stayed with relatives, then friends, and eventually learned how to live on my own. But the mark of abandonment had carved itself into my soul. Every birthday felt like a silent accusation. Whenever I won an award at school or achieved something in my career later, an invisible question followed me. If she knew, would she be proud, or would she still not care? I would wake up at night sweating, the same dream repeating, the closed door and the ticking clock. At 32, my life looked stable, at least from the outside. I was a successful architect. I built strong foundations, maybe because my own had once collapsed. I controlled my emotions. I didn't let people get close because I knew those who come close eventually leave. My apartment was minimalist, white walls, little furniture, no clutter. Just like my emotional state. This year, I decided I needed a break. I went on vacation with my extended family, the relatives who had cared for me for some time. We were at a beach resort. The weather was beautiful. The air smelled of salt, waves crashing rhythmically. Everyone was laughing. And like always, I was alone in the crowd. I was standing on the balcony, looking at the ocean, wondering if the sea ever feels lonely when waves hit the shore and return. That's when my phone buzzed. An unknown number. "Fly home. Don't say anything to your mother and brother." A strange knot formed in my stomach. My mother? My brother? We hadn't spoken in years. We were strangers connected only by blood and silence. My brother, Ryan, had been 5 or 6 when I was sent away. I didn't even know what he looked like now. Did he remember me? Or had he forgotten me like she had? I thought it was a wrong number. I ignored it. Half an hour later, another message. "This cannot wait. You are in danger if you stay away. Come to the airport immediately. A ticket has been booked in your name. Flight AA402. This time, fear knocked. Not loud panic, but cold fear. The kind that numbs you from inside. I lied to my family, said there was an emergency at work, packed my bag with shaking hands but a calm face, the same calmness I had learned from my mother. In the taxi to the airport, I kept looking behind me as if someone was following. During the flight, I stared at the dark sky. Was my mother sick? Did Ryan call me? Or was this a trap? At the arrivals gate, two men were waiting. One in a suit, professional, around his 50s. The other in police uniform. Ms. Adeline? I'm Mr. Bennett. I'm a lawyer. This is Officer Martinez. Police? For me? We can't talk here, Bennett said. Please come with us. It's safer. Safer? In the car, Bennett began. Adeline, what you know about your life isn't the full truth. You believe your mother threw you out? She did, I said firmly. She sent you away, he corrected. To save you. Save me from what? From the people who wanted your grandfather's inheritance. Your grandfather left everything in your name. Assets, properties, trusts. But until you turned 32, everything remained frozen. If something had happened to you before then, the money could have gone to them. My breath caught. When you were 11, your mother was approached by a man named Victor Blackwell. Dangerous. Powerful. She was threatened. Hand your daughter over, or we'll take her. The safest way was to make it look like she rejected you, to erase you from her official life, so you would disappear into the crowd and survive. My ears rang. So, she loved me? She watched over you from afar for 21 years. Private investigators, reports, photos, but she could never call. Even one call could reveal your location. The world spun, and I fainted. The weight of silence. I woke up in a hospital. White ceiling. Machines beeping. Head pounding. Mr. Bennett explained. At midnight, the trust would unlock. Blackwell wanted to stop that. Once it transferred to me, harming me would send everything to charity. My grandfather had inserted that clause, so I only had to survive until midnight. He handed me an old envelope. For Adeline. My mother's handwriting. Inside. My dearest Addie. The day you read this, you may hate me, and you have every right. I broke you so you could live. When you walked out with your blue backpack, my heart left with you. Victor's men were outside. If I had shown love, they would have known you were my weakness. Hate me. Let hatred keep you away from me. Distance is your safety. But know this, every breath I take is for you. I have watched your life from afar. I saw your graduation. Your photos are under my pillow. Don't forgive me. Just stay alive. Mom. I broke down. She had baked a chocolate cake every year on my birthday. Alone. Cut it alone. Threw it away. I demanded to see her. That night, with police escort, we drove to a safe house. On the way, Blackwell's men blocked the road, but police sirens scattered them. At the farmhouse, I opened the door. She was sitting there, older, weaker, smaller. She stood, trembling. Addie. She fell to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. Forgive me. I ruined your life. I knelt and touched her shoulder. She was real, warm, not glass. I hugged her. We both collapsed into tears that had waited 21 years. Ryan, now 26, stood in the corner. Dee Dee? We embraced too. At midnight, the clock struck 12. The next morning, I signed the papers. Blackwell was detained. The inheritance was mine, but the real wealth sat beside me, my mother. The embrace of truth. Reconciliation wasn't magical. 21 years don't disappear overnight. There were awkward silences. Anger resurfaced. Questions came. Why not boarding school? Why strangers? She listened. She told me she had attended my graduation secretly. She cooked my childhood favorite meals. She tried, every day. Slowly, the glass between us melted. One evening in the garden, she said, people say asking forgiveness is hard, but forgiving is harder. I forgave you long ago, I said, but I haven't forgiven myself. You didn't steal my childhood, I told her. You gave me a future. I realized something then. Life isn't black and white. Parents are human, not gods. Sometimes love is harsh. Sometimes love means letting go. She hadn't kicked me out. She had hidden me, like a bird pushing its chick from the nest before a storm so it can learn to fly. We sold the old house and bought a new one. No painful memories, only new beginnings. My story may sound cruel to you, but to me, it was the most extreme form of love. Moral of the story. Things are not always what they seem. Sometimes what feels like the greatest rejection is actually the greatest protection. Relationships are not measured only by closeness, but by sacrifice. Forgiveness is not just for others, it lightens your own heart. The answer to why may come late, but when it does, it heals every wound. Love comes in many forms, sometimes by holding close, and sometimes by letting go.